Alright, hello and welcome. So, Fortuna is finally out, and today I wanted to take the time to make a video to get everyone started doing whatever it is they need to be doing. First and foremost, we're going to go over fishing, then we're going to go over some mining stuff, we're going to go over how to get bonds, and finally we're going to go over the K-Drive stuff. But let's start with fishing. So, this is the business. Many of you will remember him from the ARG stuff that DE was doing prior to release. And he sells hunting and fishing gear. We're not going to be going over hunting today. Hunting I'm going to cover on its own video whenever I've done like the whole thing. But fishing, being very similar, I can just go over now. So for fishing, we have a new spear. This is the Shock Prod Fishing Spear. It comes with a new mechanic that we're going to be going over. And this is the only spear that you're going to need to hunt all of the robotic fish. However, at higher ranks, there is the Stunna Fishing Spear, which as far as I know and based on its description, will just allow you to catch multiple fish at once, which is pretty cool, and, you know, definitely worth doing. But this should be able to catch all of the robotic fish. It is worth noting that your previous spears you can use to catch the robotic fish, but you're going to damage them in the process, so I would really not recommend that. Just spend the 500 rep to get a shock fishing spear instead. With that, it's pretty much all you need to know about the business, other than he is also the person that you're going to turn in your servo fish to get the parts out of them, which is quite important. Moving on, let's talk to our mining guy, which is Smokefinger, and there's only one thing to note here, really, and that is that the Sunpoint Plasma Drill is a raw upgrade to all previous mining equipment. This is better than all of the stuff that you can get from PoE, so if you get this and take it to PoE, you can get all of the gems there as well. So there's that. This is a really cheap way to get into doing all the mining business. If you wanted to do the PoE stuff as well as all of the stuff here. And of course, additionally, he's going to sell you all of the blueprints that you're going to need to refine all of these things. So this is pretty good. I enjoy the new mining. We're going to be talking about it quite a bit. So let's move on for now. Next, we're going to talk about bonds, and a lot of you are going to know what the hell bonds are, but they are above the business. This guy. Now, before we talk to him, this is what bonds do. Bonds can be traded directly for rep with Fortuna. However, they are also required for ranking up in Fortuna. You can get them from bounties, but the easy way to get them is to ask about them from Ticker. So you can purchase these. You can trade in, like, if you have Muon batteries and a bunch of credits, boom, there's that. And if you have, like, this material and a bunch of credits, trade them in for that, and you get all these different debt bonds that can be traded for reputation or be used to rank up. Now, I only have 2 here. There's usually about 5. They refresh over time, and I already bought a lot of the considerably cheaper ones. Some of these will show up for just credits, so they're very easy to get. So yeah, if you're looking for those bonds to get your rank up, this is definitely the easiest way to get it, provided you are a little RNG lucky and you get ones where he's like, give me 50 Rubido, and you're like, yeah, sure, man, fuck off, thank you. So you can do that if you're looking for the bonds. And then we are going to go over the Vent Kid stuff, which is right up here. This is the Vent Kid's vent, as it were. So, with this, these are the Vent Kids. They have an entirely separate standing, so they'll have a completely separate cap each day. So that's very important because you can level this with your max rep, and then also all of this basic stuff in Fortuna to max rep. But with this, their offerings are going to be parts for you to build your own board, and additionally mods, of course. However, these are very expensive. To build a board, you're going to need 20,000 or considerably more, especially to customize one out. Like these parts up here are 15,000, and statistically, none of these parts have any differences. So, in a weird turn of events, it would actually be considerably faster if you want to get a K-Drive that you can customize right off the bat. It would be considerably faster just for you to buy the daily special, which is what I did. They all have the same stats. There's no difference in boost speed, jump height, speed. None of that stuff is different between all of the different combinations of parts. But you can just, you know, farm 57 platinum, which is relatively easy, and just buy this. And worth noting, the previous daily special was actually cheaper than this one. So yeah, I would actually probably recommend just farming the platinum and buying a board that you think looks nice on the daily special, and kind of avoiding buying the parts out of here, and just getting all of the mods you need if you're going to be doing Vent Kid stuff. And we're going to talk about how to get their rep in a moment. So, with that, let's wrap back around and head out to Fortuna, and then talk about fishing first, and then mining, and so on and so forth. Although, obviously, we don't need to talk about bonds anymore, so that's kind of the end of that business. Alright, Fortuna, here we are. So, fishing stuff, there's fishing to be done right down here, pretty much immediately. And I found the fishing to be quite fun. I like the new little mini game they have for it, so we'll see about it. So basically, with the shock fishing, what you're doing is you're hitting the fish, and then there's an additional tiny little mini game for you to capture them proper. So we can hit this guy. Hit him, and then when it's in the red, click again. You electrify them, and you catch the robofish. That's really all there is to it. And you get, like, a amount of time. Like, if you fail, you can click again and stuff like that. But yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty much the previous fishing, only with an additional little mini game. I actually find it to be quite fun, and usually the spawns for fish, particularly right here, are actually pretty decent. So you're going to be fishing very fast. But yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy the new fishing. There's not a ton to it, and there doesn't need to be. So that's good. Now, let's talk about a slightly harder thing to talk about, which is the mining. Alright, so I've just pre-recorded some mining footage, and I'm just going to explain how it works over top of it. So, basically, new mining is a heat-up system. You're going to be shooting at certain spots on a mining point, and then you heat that up inside of the white box, and you want to get it right in the middle of each white box, and then you hit that, move on to the next point. You do each of those, and sometimes you will get a node that has a bonus box, which is a much smaller box that will be in addition to the other one that is present that you can also just do instead. But if you hit the bonus box, then the node will become significantly better. It will give you double materials in the case of any blue node, and in the case of a red node, it will turn the red node into also being a blue node, so you can get those much rarer gems even from red nodes. What that means is that it is a lot easier to get the rarer gems now, and this also goes for PoE, where getting those Eidolon gems was a real son of a bitch. If you get good at getting the bonus boxes, that becomes significantly easier now, because you're just getting more blue-type gems faster. Essentially. So you can even get Eidolon gems from red spots on PoE now, and you can get all the rarities of gems from any spot that you're going to encounter while mining. So I think the system is a huge improvement, and I don't know, I like it a lot better. Like, it's a little bit slower, but your potential reward is so much higher per node that I just enjoy it a lot more. Anyway, let's talk about K-drives now. Alright, so let's talk about K-drives. So I have my K-drive here, and you can just jump onto it like you would any vehicle. And the way to get this out, by the way, is whenever you get your K-drive launcher, which you will all have at the end of the intro quest to Fortuna, you will be able to summon a K-drive no matter what. Even if you do not have your own, the loaner that you get during the initial prep quest will always be available to you as long as you have the launcher, which you always will after the main tutorial quest. So just use that and you'll get a tutorial K-drive launcher essentially. I of course have my own, but there are no statistical differences as far as I can tell between the basic K-drive and this one, other than this one I can rank up and put mods into. But I have literally one mod on this thing, which is just like a slight anti-grav ability. That doesn't really matter very much at all. So let's talk about the K-drive and how to do things with it. So shift is boost. Shock and surprise, I know. If you jump, you can charge it. And then when you're in midair, if you jump again, you do a little spin called a copter. With that, there are other tricks that you can do while in the air. So if you jump and you press left click in any direction, you will do different holds. which is very fancy. Those do not give points for some reason. Might be a bug. And then besides that, if you do right-click end directions, you will do various spins and things, so you get points. And you can see in the bottom right there, you get rep for doing tricks and stuff. Now, your maximum amount of points per trick combo is 3,000, and we're going to show off how to easily do that. So this right here, this place is the entrance to Fortuna. So if you just turn left and follow yourself around the building, you're going to come to this big old pipe. And now we're going to exploit this shit like Tony Hawk, and we're going to get a 3k points combo. So while you're in the air, you can hit Alt, which is your crouch, to grind, and then whenever you get towards the end of the pipe, charge your jump, spin back, and do it again. This can also be combined with some fancy front flips and stuff to get more points, to make it so you stack up to this faster. But you can basically grind back and forth on this like forever to get your points up to like 3k in a combo, and then you're going to get rep that is according to those points. So boom, that is a 3,000 rep combo. You can do that as much as you like. But yeah, that's like pretty much what's up. If you're trying to get that Vent Kids rep and you on that grind, then you gotta grind. Like, that's pretty much what's up. There's not a huge amount to it. Do I think the K-Drive stuff is worth it? I think it's fun with some flaws. So I think what's really holding the K-Drive stuff back is that you can charge this jump, and then you can get some good air, right? But you can't charge a jump coming out of the air, essentially. Like, once you're jumping, you hit jump again and you just copter, and that's cool and all. However, what would be much cooler is being able to like do a big jump and like get some of those right click moves and then go into a grind where you've already got the jump charged, so you can do more with it. In addition to that, it'd be really good for like traversing a lot of the stuff that we have here. Like, if I could have charged there, I could have gotten a jump, gotten way up on the silver move faster, like all kinds of business like that, just for traversal purposes, and like kind of making the trick stuff like easier and not as like one area to grind them all. I think would be really cool. So like, this is a lot of fun, but it's certainly not going to be better than just equipping your arc wing and being like, later losers. Like, it's just not going to be faster than that. But if you're looking to have some fun with it, I mean, it absolutely is that. I think the K-Drives are pretty fun, just flawed in some pretty basic ways. Obviously, the boost mods for the K-Drive may change my opinion of it, but since those mods only say like 20 and 30%, I doubt they're going to get up to the speed of, say, the Itzel or even some of the slower arc wings, just because being on land is inherently slower than flying in straight lines through the air towards your objective. Anyway, that is going to kind of do it for today's video. I hope you guys learned some stuff. I hope you guys get started on your Fortuna business. And for those of you on console, I hope the wait isn't too long. I will see you guys tomorrow. Also, I am streaming tonight. We'll be doing a bunch of stuff, and you guys can probably expect a Garuda video tomorrow. So I will see you then.